Welcome to Trading Wars, where profits are made and egos are broken. It's your boy Keeper. I am back from Brazil. Super excited to be back at it. I got some people backstage. Reminder for everybody, they can trade whenever they want. If you guys are looking for the rules, trying to figure out what's going on here, I did things a little bit different this season. The traders are able to trade outside of the timing of the show, which is 11 to 12, 12:30, depending on how everybody's feeling that day, every Monday. So we got 2 weeks left, I believe is what we've got. We're going to get updated on where everybody's at here in just a minute. But just as that reminder, the traders can trade whenever they want. Sign up for BloFin. Thank you guys very much for sponsoring the show. BloFin is a sponsor. There's over 10 grand out there for you guys to get at. The link is down below the stream, so you can help me out, help yourself out by, sorry, I'm messing with my mic. My mic's irritating me this morning. You guys can help me out by signing up for BloFin. And yeah, there's 10K for you to get. And I think like a Rolex in some type of way. I forget how we get that, but that's there too. Anyways, sign up for them. And Market Cipher, as always, the premier indicator on Trading Wars is Market Cipher. I've got a discount code below the stream for that as well. All right, let's see who's backstage. Who we got? We got Triggerman, Evan Aldo. Evan, how are you, sir?
Doing well. Just pulled the trigger on a nice trade. So yeah. Great to be on.
Keeping hip to your name. Glad to hear it. Crusader is down in, where you at today? Key Largo, Montego?
No, just visiting my homeland.
Visiting the homeland.
And my Wi-Fi starts going off. You already know why.
Yeah, it's the Cuban nationals kicking in your door because you're probably not allowed to be talking about crypto or something. I don't know. Jenna X in the coffee shop. Jenna, how are you?
I'm good. I kicked everybody out so I can focus.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. I think that this is the first time we've seen you on camera this season. So welcome. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. I believe that TradeFly is still going to be here. Blood got scared. So Blood got scared, everybody, and said, you know what? I don't want any more smoke. I'm gonna have to bow out. I'll come back on next season. So Crypto Blood has bowed out. Okay, he's not actually scared. He just had some stuff going on. He needed to back out. So that's what's going on with Blood. Bullish texted me last night. Not really sure where he's at this morning. Maybe Bullish was out a little bit too late doing some extracurriculars. I don't know. And TradeFly, I just talked to a little bit ago. Maybe the military pulled him back into an op or something. Not really sure, but we're waiting to hear from him. Okay, so who is in the chat? The chat has been quiet. We normally have a lot more people than this. I guess I didn't do a good job of advertising that we were going to be back. But Andrew Cameron, first in the chat. GM, glad that you are here, Andrew. Got your little Bitcoin. Is that a Bitcoin umbrella? I only can see part of it. Is that what that is?
That's a Bitcoin Canadian flag.
Oh, it's a Canadian. Because I can only see the top of it. It looks like an umbrella. It's a Canadian Bitcoin flag.
I think so.
The Canadians aren't going to allow you to go all the way onto Bitcoin. They're about as close to communism as it gets, right?
New prime minister might be a little better. So
yeah, might be. You would hope for sure.
Be.
All right, let's check in with everybody. Let's see where we're at. So, Evan, I'll start with you. All the traders started off with 10K when the season started, and let's see where everybody's at. Evan, what are you at?
So yeah, I'll show you this screen. Let me share my share everything right now.
And then Crusader and Jenna, if you want to pull your screen in the background, I can pull them up.
Yes, you should be able to see. You're seeing the new trade here, and the assets. We're at 11. All right. We're already down
$11,099.
$36 here. So it's a little trade that could or could not get stopped out. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so you're up over 10%, which is fantastic. That's great.
Yeah,
you're over 11K. All right. What trade are you in right now?
I'll show you exactly. So basically, I'll give it away. Take profit up here, stop loss down below the swing low. It's a super basic trade. Not the best risk-reward ratio. It's essentially this. And, we hit off of this area, holding the VWAP, which is good. And you got a nice bull div that's forming. As you can see, bull div, price coming down. Money flow starting to come up. Bull div here. Textbook, pretty good strategy. 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, a little above it, which is not terrible. Yeah. 86.3 is the take profit, which is going to be a pretty good place. You also, when you look at some other time frames, it looks like a bit of a trend reversal could be starting to happen here a little bit. Oops, wrong one.
Moving back up to the upside, you mean? Bitcoin's going to start heading back up towards 90K?
Yes. So money flow coming up, you got your trigger waves, all that stuff, and then as long as you could hold the this kind of these lows, I still think you got a good shot here. Now it would get scary if we went back down to 79 or 77. That's where it gets a little bit scary. But, it's looking decent on the 10-hour. When you really, all these time frames look pretty good. Nothing looks that bad at the moment, except your 3-day. If you wanted to kind of hedge this bet and do a short or something, you probably would want to do it off of this 2-day right here, money flow, and then continuation downward, RSI is going downward. So if
you're saying hedging, doing a little bit longer play there, hedging
or you hedge the bet doing a short as well, like I normally try to do. So you could, your risk reward ratio may not be too good. You could try something like this, maybe. That's a 2-to-1. That's assuming you're going to go down and retest 76. I don't know if I want to do that though.
Isn't there a gap that needs filled around there?
No, they've been filled already.
It's already been filled.
There was a gap at 84 last week that got filled.
Okay. I just thought there was one at like 76, 77, 78. I thought, but
no, I don't think so.
No. Okay. All right.
There used to be one that was like from like 80 something down to like 70 something, but that one already got filled.
It got filled. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of 2 weeks ago. I haven't been paying close.
Yeah, that was when we dropped down to like 79, 78.
Okay.
And everybody was freaking out. I was filling in that gap.
Well, I mean, the alts, looking at the alts, man,
the alts are smashed, but the alts are down 60+%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is ugly for sure.
Very few of them are actually in the green within the last year. Most of them are. You could. I see why people call this like a bear market, right? We had a terrible quarter one closes tonight.
Oh, it's ugly.
And
it's just super
horrible.
ugly.
Ethereum had like a negative 40-something% return.
Oh yeah.
On quarter
trust me, I am well aware of that.
But I think we could turn things around a little bit. There's a rare bullish sign on the 6-day on ETH.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I do think we're going to have a reversal. I do think, meanwhile, we stay above 80, we still have time. The big thing is going to be once we get back into like the 98,000 range, if we get rejected around there and we don't get back above 100 and hold, then we're probably going to have a bigger drop down to like 67.
Well, Crusader,
there's a good rally coming.
Show me what you're doing. Where are you at overall, Crusader? I think you're on top.
This is just my chart.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, over here. Where's
see the little asset thing? Woo! Crusader's up over 30%.
Yeah, so I took a trade this morning. Let me see, where was it? Yeah, I took a short on Bitcoin actually. Okay. So I shorted this rejection right here off the previous day high, jumped into the long, exited somewhere around here.
Okay.
Has been pulling back up. It has a strong bullish trend overall, but right now we're getting rejected off the previous day high again, which would have been a nice little short opportunity. But as you can see, you're taking a little step up. Ethereum is looking like a nice little short, also getting rejected here off the previous day high on the 15-minute, obviously because Bitcoin's pulling back. So if Bitcoin closes here, we could be coming back down to this daily MPLC or somewhere around there again. But yeah, I haven't gotten into a trade right now, but I did get into a trade this morning that got me back up to 13K. What was it? Yeah, right here. It was this little 10%er, a 17X with half the bag.
Nice.
On Bitcoin, made like $650. Nice. But it's been a chop, bro. I was at 13 last week, got chopped up, dropped down to like 10.8. And then I spent like the last week and a half just slowly grinding back up, trying different strategies, and those strategies were not working. So I just went back.
Well, it looks like something's been working. I was gonna say it looks like something's been working.
Yeah, so I was doing pretty well, and then I started messing around with different strategies, and not so well.
No bueno.
Yeah, no bueno.
No bueno. All right, so Crusader's up 30%. Evan's up 10-ish%, 11%. We got TradeFly. What up, brother?
What's up?
Good to see you.
What up?
I know TradeFly had to take care of the kiddos real quick. No worries, brother. Glad that you're here. Thanks for showing up. What before I get to Jenna, I'll go to you next because TradeFly just jumped in. Just tell me one thing without anything else. Tell me what's your number at right now? What are you at?
Talking to me? Sorry.
Yeah, definitely talking to you. Just trying to figure out. Do you know what you're at?
Yeah, let me pull it up. It's like 10-4.
10-4. Okay.
Dude, yeah, right. I got. Dude, I'm so pissed. I got stopped out. I would have caught the move down. Like literally, got stopped out by like $150.
Just like on a wick.
Yeah, like that was kind of the last push up, and I didn't get back into it. I've be honest with you, I've been making some banger trades on my personal account, but
Yeah.
not keeping up. So
All right.
yeah, I missed the move down, and let me I'm pulling it up right now for you.
You're talking
no
about the
worries.
short from the last week when Bitcoin got rejected and it just started pulling down on it. Dude, I got
Yeah.
stopped out of that same trade overnight. I put it in. I was like, all right, we're getting rejected off the previous week high. I put it in, went to sleep, woke up, got stopped out, and straight down. I was like, son of a gun.
Same thing, dude. I went to sleep. I woke up. I was like, son of a bitch.
Speaking of sleeping, somebody's asking where's Crypto Face. Well, I'm going to take a wild guess and say he's sleeping because he ain't answered when I called him a couple times. This happens about once a season, but you know what?
He's calling BloFin to give him more funds.
I think that's what Blood tried to do.
I'm
know,
at
right?
10,468 right now.
10,004. So you're up about 4%. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Jenna, let's check in. I know Jenna's been kind of all over the place. Talk me through, Jenna, because you haven't been on in a couple weeks or two. Yeah, a couple weeks, whatever.
All right.
Talk me
throw
through
my
what you've had
screen
going
up.
on. Yep.
All right. Right now, I'm shorting Vine because it pumped 50% in 24 hours. So that's an easy
Okay.
play for me. I have to do
Okay.
some little scalps here to be able to make my way back up, because you see what had happened was
What had happened was
we're at 6,300 right now. All right, so I had entered into an XRP trade. I got greedy. This was our first episode, right? And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go really, really heavy. I think it was like a 30x or something. It was ridiculous. And I was up. I could have taken profits, but I got greedy. And I was traveling ETH Denver. I set everything on cross. I don't use stop losses usually because I think those are for pussies. So I woke up, remembered to check my trade, and it was down. There was definitely a sell the news event. So I did what any irresponsible trader would do. And I doubled down on my losing trade whenever I thought it bottomed out to mitigate. But it was not indeed done dumping. And so I had to close with quite a bit of a loss. I was actually down to like 4,000 something, brought it back up a little bit. But now I've been alerted that we have 2 more weeks. So I can still try to come back, because I'll be real. I thought I was going to come back and these guys would have like 20 grand up here and stuff. So I still feel like I have a shot.
all right. Well, I wish you the best of luck. What's going to be your strategy moving forward?
Trade more.
Trade more.
Well, I had to walk away, and I've been neglecting it. As you know, like last night, I was like, what exchange were we trading on again? Because it's been so
Yeah, I got that text message last night. Hey, Keeper, what exchange are we on again? I was like, oh boy, somebody is taking a little bit of a break.
So I'm going to work really hard at it. I'm going to make my comeback, guys. I'm not giving up.
All right. Look forward to it. You're gonna be trying to long XRP into a win, or
no. Listen, I'm done fucking with XRP right now, guys. I've broken up with XRP for this show. I'm just gonna do what makes sense when I see a good setup and be more diligent. But I have to work on my scalps, because long-term trades for me, we don't get along because I forget that they're open. I've got to stick with scalping. It's just what works best for me.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. No long-term stuff for Jenna.
No.
Only short-term. Well, besides the marriage, that should be a long-term commitment.
It is my longest
Definitely-
commitment so
definitely
far.
commit
Well,
to
actually, XRP is my longest commitment, but that's my second longest commitment.
Okay. Got it. XRP, then the hubby. TradeFly.
Yeah.
What's up with you, bro? Talk to me.
Sure.
Talk to me
Yeah.
about what you're seeing in the markets, where you're at, how things are. What do you got going on?
Cool, man. Yeah, so I will talk a little bit about what I was seeing this morning, because it's a big miss, man. A big miss. Timing is everything. Let me share my screen with you real quick, though.
Yeah.
Let me do that. That'll help.
It was a big miss you missed, or it was just a miss all the way?
It was just timing.
Just timing.
Let me see. Let me get this window going here. Oh gosh, that does not. You got my screen there?
It is pulling right now. There we go.
All right, cool. So let me go to the 8 hour, something I was looking at. And I'm about to drop this in some of the Discords I'm in. So what I like to do is kind of like this daily daily update. But one of the things that I was a little slow getting to this morning, once I like started breaking down the chart and looking at it, and I was like, golly. So there was a lot of confluence this morning, right around about 81.5. So you had definitely different pivot points on different time frames. You had the daily low the previous day low. So there was a lot of things kind of lining up, as well as the value area low of the current range. So like everything was kind of lining up there. And then you go to look at where the liquidity was sitting this morning on the daily. It cleared out some liquidity. You also had bullish divergence on the 8-hour. So everything was pointing to a nice little setup right here. I think that would have been a beautiful swing trade this morning. However, I got to it late. So now I'm kind of looking at like, hey, where can we see a rejection? And so, you know, kind of looking the opposite direction, previous day high, you got point of control, you got the weekly pivot point all around 84.2 to about 84.9. So that's where I'm going to look for price action. I'm not ultimately saying, hey, like this is where we're going to see a reversal, continuation price down. But, you know, with this show, right, there's a lot of quick trades getting in and out. I will look for some price action in that area to the downside and see what we can catch there. So I'll probably do the old Alex O method, take the 44X, look for that 900 gain, 300 loss, or risk 300. So basically a 3-to-1 is probably what I'm going to look for here soon. I just got to see what kind of price action we get when we get up to those levels. So that'll be on the smaller time frames.
I like that strategy. So you're saying you give yourself a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio that you always hear Evan talking about. You go with a 3-to-1, and then what percentage of your bag is that? Is there a set number with that too?
Yeah, 2,500 margin.
Okay.
2,500 margin, 44X. That's something that I picked up from Alex O. So especially with scalping.
But that's got to be different per person, right? You're gonna have some people that are gonna say, "Well, I'm not gonna put $2,500 up. I'm gonna put $250 up." You have somebody that's gonna say, "I'm putting 25,000 up," right? Or, I mean, just kind of as a general idea.
You could totally do that. It just works out because everything is, you know, it's kind of been measured out of like, hey, what makes sense in terms of your fees, that structure kind of being in part of the equation into that 3-to-1, and then just making sure it aligns, you know, overall with like, hey, like if I'm going for 3-to-1, is there a point, you know, with support and resistance that kind of ties into this as well? So it's not a catch-all all the time. It's just a matter of the numbers have already been crunched. So for me, I know it's going to be $120 trading fees, you know, based on a, you know, a 0.6, was it taker fee, yada, yada, yada. So it just, it's a nice baseline going in.
It's a $100,000 trade.
Right. Yeah.
You're 44X and 25. I mean, it's a little bit more than 100, but it's around 100,000 once you toss that leverage on there. Okay. Cool. I like it. Okay, let's talk macro for a second, guys. What are we in a, do we think we're in a bear market? Do we think this is all just, do we think that we're going to continue to keep the traditional, let me pull your screen down here. There we go. Who thinks that things have changed, the 4-year structure is broken, and we are just going to be more stock market-esque? Raise your hand. All right, so 3 of the 5 of us. All right, so let me ask. Evan, start with you. TradeFly was just chatting. Why don't you think it's broken yet?
I don't see any serious evidence to believe it's broken. I think it's a little bit more delayed, this kind of pullback, than what we've seen, you know, in the beginning of 2021 or the beginning of 2017. But I think that we could be appearing to get close to a bottom. I want to show you a couple things in the charts that would strengthen that argument. So if we look at, where is it, screen 2 right here? So this screen. So you know, first thing everybody's concerned about is ETH. And ETH right here, just doing a little basic TA in market cipher B.
Yeah.
Deep anchor waves. So the last few times we saw this, which is a pretty rare bullish sign. The last time we saw this was, well, first time June of 22. That was the exact bottom, which was awesome. If we could see something like this, that would be, you know, almost, it would shatter a lot of people would be like, whoa, if we can get up to 3,500 into May, you know, around the Bitcoin conference or something, which would be really nice. That may be a little bit too optimistic. Maybe we'll just see something like this, you know, coming back up to maybe into June 3,000. But I think you got a rally potentially coming for ETH, and that would be, I'm just going back here, almost every time you saw some type of jump up where, except this one, unless you think it's going to be like a bear market year like 2018 or 2022, we should be all right here. So that's why I like an ETH. Bitcoin is kind of similar, I think. You know, you're forming kind of that trigger wave forming on the weekly, which one of two things is going to happen here. Either it's going to kind of roll over and then you go down to like 72K or something, or you can do a situation like this. And I mean, I think it's, you know, this is a little bit more elongated than I would like, less elongated, excuse me, July 25. I think it would take longer than that to get up to 150. If you're going to hit 150, I think it would be end of year. But I still think there's an argument to make for that, for a lot of more money to come into this. Unless you guys are right about 4-year cycle being dead. Now, the other thing here that I like, and that's an interesting chart that not too many people have talked about, if we look at others versus Bitcoins, this is everything outside the top 10 market cap versus Bitcoin. There's this interesting pattern I really like, and this strengthens some of the altcoin argument here. You bottomed out, bear with me, December 2016.
Okay.
You bottomed out here. Exactly 4 years and 1 month later, you bottomed out. This was January of 2021, where you technically bottomed out there. So exactly 4 months. Yeah, 4 years and 1 month later. Another 4 years and 1 month later was February of 2025 this year. So we're still, as you can see, the wick is right here, way down. We're still holding that. As long as you could hold that, I still think we're in that pattern. So maybe within the
I've never seen that.
week,
That's an interesting take. I've not seen that.
yeah. So that if you could hold that low, we should be okay. And then the last thing I'll show you here is Bitcoin dominance, which we need this to come down. Look at your 2 week, your money flow is coming up. You're about to get a nice bear div. That 62 where we are right now could be the high. That year 64, that wick up, that could be the high right here if things go as planned. Now this is jumping up right now. It's a little bit concerning. We want this to reject from here, so we'll have to see what happens. But I think there's an argument to make. I think there's definitely an argument to make. The last thing I want to show you actually real quickly is NASDAQ versus DXY. So this is NASDAQ essentially adjusted for inflation. Big place I was looking at here. We want our kind of 15% correction here adjusted for inflation. We're up to about 13%. If we can get down to like 15, just a little bit farther than we came down so much, then I could see a potential bounce. Hopefully crypto would follow. And I think if you come down just a little bit more, or even maybe we're enough right now, you get inflation under control. That helps out crypto. That brings your yields down, which they're looking bearish. As you can get these yields down, it doesn't always happen every time, but you saw a nice altcoin run up right here the last time this came crashing down. If you could repeat that, that's what we would be looking at hopefully into the summer, a nice altcoin season. So we'll see what happens.
That's a lot of
It's complicated.
Yeah, no. But it's different. It's different looks. It's one of the things that I like on here. You guys are always looking at different, different inputs, outputs. What you think makes sense, what correlates, what doesn't. I think that just obviously you have a natural bullish sentiment from the halving, right? So when that happens, right, the rewards and just basically fundamentally how Bitcoin structurally works, that's going to be good. However, I've just continued to stay with the argument, if you will, that now that we've been begging for all these institutions to come in and play and blah, and now I feel like what it seems like things have felt weird to me anyway, and I've been in crypto for, I guess, 7-8 years now. It just seems to me like they are playing, you've heard me say this before, just the institutional type games, and I'm just thinking that as they're all here, they're going to do what they do over in the stock market, and I think they can take some losses and some big opportunities and push the markets around. I do think that it's going to be easier for them to push crypto markets around than it obviously is going to be to push the entire stock market around, but I do think that that they still are getting new people into crypto, and I think that they don't want to scare some of the old money away that's coming in. That they come into Bitcoin, they're like, wait a minute, I'm down 38%, not obviously right now, but I'm just saying, like, if there's a pullback into 60K in the 60K range or whatever, we wouldn't be freaking out about it, but all the new money would be, and the institutions are bringing in a bunch of that new money. So I think the argument can be made on the flip side that they have to be careful with how they play this game with I guess boomers a lot of time would be some of the money that's coming in through some of the ETFs and whatnot. Okay, so Evan, that's your take. Let me hear who was the other person that said that? TradeFly?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah, man. Mine is a lot less chart based. It's just kind of a fundamental understanding of what's going on in the markets right now. So, if you look at 2022 when there was uncertainty in market, we kind of entered the bear market. There was a pretty tight correlation, and this isn't chart based, so you can just leave that out of it.
I thought you were pulling that out. Okay, cool.
Nah. So really, it's just kind of like looking back and looking at the historicals, right? So when everything started pulling back together, right? There was uncertainty in the market. You saw a correlation that started to develop between the NASDAQ and Bitcoin. And it's kind of diverged since then as we've gone through, certain pushes up in 23, 24. But you're starting to see that correlation again, right? Even with some of the bounces, like this morning, we bounced off the 200 SMA, and then sure enough, Bitcoin bounced right along with it. So that is one of the things that, like, I think about, like, hey, like, we are discussing recessions, things of that nature. Like, and when you start having those pullbacks, the entire market's going to pull back. It is not a hedge against a recession. It's not a hedge against any kind of, turmoil in the markets itself. So does it necessarily mean that the 4-year cycle is broken? Not necessarily. Think about the push up that we had with the approval of the ETF, right? That was a preemptive push before the halving that happened. So you kind of have to take that into consideration, and you go back and you say, okay, where should we be price action wise, or where should the price of Bitcoin be right now based on looking at some of those historicals with the halving? And right now makes sense. You're up over $80,000. If you asked yourself that a year or 2 years ago, you would be like, hell yeah, I'd take an $80,000 Bitcoin. And that would kind of be a normal, reasonable expectation for where the price should be. Like, I thought it would be around 88 to 100K ish, right? That's kind of where I was anticipating it being, with this push up. So, there's also that element of, like, we're not done yet. Like,
Oh, I agree with that.
like, people are still saying, like, this cycle is still, like, in the middle, right? If you go back, we should be having a push up, right? So we'll see how that plays out.
You're saying
throughout.
historically right now we should be having
Yeah,
a push up
we
between now
should
and
be
May.
we still should have a push to the upside based on that. And now it's just a matter of saying, does it still correlate, like, in terms of, like, even with that push up, have we already kind of put that in? So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I gotta see it play out. Fat lady hasn't sung in my
Yeah.
mind, so that's kind of where I'm sitting with it. Like, it's not broken till it is. And, it's really hard to say that it's gone in my mind,
Yeah.
so we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, dude.
I also wonder, Crusader, maybe you can speak on this. I also wonder, can they continue to make it as, like, okay, so now we've got all the institutional money here, blah, blah, blah. Can they continue to make it as predictable as it quote unquote has been? On a longer term basis, it's been overall kind of predictable, right? I feel like, and maybe I'm just flat out wrong, I've been wrong before. I feel like that would be just too damn easy. I don't know. What do you think?
You're gonna lose a lot of those big moves, I think, though. Like, with the institutional money, with the smart money, people that
Yeah,
are
I agree.
long-term investors, like, it's
Yes,
just not gonna move as hard. Does that mean
I
the
agree.
cycle's broken? No, it's not as aggressive
Well,
anymore.
you're just saying that the bear market, bull market is not going to be as aggressive to the upside and the downside.
I don't think so.
I
think it's
no,
gonna
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of actually more my take on what I think's happening is that the crazy swings that we've had, I guess I should say, whether the cycle's broken or not, I think that we won't have the crazy swings. Crusader, you
Yeah.
started to talk and then I jumped.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That was me.
So
My bad.
there's a lot. Oh, go ahead.
I was just
No,
saying
he
my
said
bad.
sorry. He said sorry.
Oh, no. What was the question again?
Oh, just we were just talking about the 4-year cycle, like the
Oh,
what
yeah.
your thoughts on it are, the money moves.
So I do think it's changed. I just think, there are going to be some big moves. I just think there's going to be a lot of range bound time. Like, we've been in a massive range, right? We've been in the Q4 range ever since, like, November, and it's just been nothing but sideways and to the down, right? We've only pulled back like 25% total, at most. It was like 23 or something percent from the very top. And I just think that, the cycles have changed. I think the 4-year cycle's out. I don't think it's going to be predictable like that anymore. I do still think it's going to be up and to the right long term, right? I do think just the institutions are trying to catch up. I think there's going to be fundamentally, there's going to be a big game changer when staking in the ETFs are live, because there has a more incentive for institutional traditional investors to invest their money and make a yield on that investment, kind of like dividends, right?
Yeah.
On their previous stock market stuff, which I think would be more incentivizing for them. We still don't have that. We already have now, fundamentally, the banks have the ability to start holding and using crypto and becoming validators for Ethereum and also getting yield off Ethereum, which is going to be a game changer.
Okay.
So those things haven't happened fundamentally, which is why I do believe we're going to have a reversal. I do think Ethereum's going to have a nice rally. It is going to be dependent chart wise, if you want to pull up my chart.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going on here, but basically on the macro level, we're still within the Q4 range, right? From 2024, this is the value area low, $81,030. We're still below that. We've dropped below it on the daily. We've gotten back above it. And in between this range and the 2024 range, which is down here, right? We have these 3 targets so far, or 4 targets that are untapped right now between 76 to 73. So there is the possibility we drop down and hit this level. But if we start falling out of the Q4 range, dropping below 80 is going to make me nervous. I do believe that if we drop down below 80, we have a way higher chance that we probably come down to this 67,000, which is the yearly NPLC for 2024. So maybe we get saved by these untapped targets and this value area high and we bounce back up. But I think that would be a big wash. Altcoins are going to get smashed. Sentiment's going to get worse. So I think this becomes way likelier if we drop below the Q4 range and we drop below 80. Now,
so you think we need to hold 80?
Yeah. We need to hold this Q4 value area low at 81,000, 80,000, give or take. Right? We need to hold this area. We don't want to be playing around under 80. So then we have the Q1 range is about to close today. Is developing right now. It's about to close. We have a little gold pocket up at 98,000. We have a bunch of untapped targets between 90 and 96,000, which is very critical for us. You see this little, I'm going to draw a little Gareth trend line here. Shout out to him for his trend lines. So, we got a nice little downward trend here overall. If we start breaking this, we start getting back above here. We start breaking this market structure. We have an NPLC up at 104. We have a daily NPLC at 108. This is going to be the real big test. If we can't break 98, we get rejected. We start coming back down. We're still creating a lower high, right? We don't break this high here and we don't get above 100. Then, that's when these levels become more likely. So right now I'm just waiting for this breakout, which I do think is possible. I do think we're bottoming out here, built-in consolidation to move to the upside, because I do think things are going to be a lot more bullish in the long term in Q2, Q3 of this year. Yeah, that's about it.
All right.
So I guess one of my big questions is, like, if we go through a recession, like let's say a technical by definition recession, and
we're already there, right?
That's
two quarters right in a row.
Hey, they redefined that. How dare you speak that blasphemy?
Oh yeah,
they did.
We changed definitions. I forgot.
But like, real question, like if we go through that, like, and you incorporate that into price action, are you then saying that the cycle is broken? Like, I think that has to be factored in to the equation, right? Like, if you're going through a recession, like there's no control over that aspect of what's going on economically, from a macro perspective.
Oh, you're saying does that get factored in? Like, hey, we're having a recession because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, like that's kind of one of my big points.
Okay.
But I think they're going to turn the money printer back on. I think that's what Trump wants. Trump wants to, reset the economy, drop things down. People
bring
are
it
also
home, baby, because what's going to happen then.
They're going to turn the money printer back on. They're going to prop things back up, and then he's going to be like, "We have the greatest economy ever." Right, and everybody's like super scared about the tariffs that are going to start implementing on the 2nd. Right, everybody's expecting the market to drop. I think at some point, whether we drop this week or not, I think at some point the tariff news just becomes numb. The market's already expecting more tariffs. At some point, we're not going to have these massive drops like we've had before with the tariff news. And then sooner or later, in Q2, maybe Q3 of this year, between May or June or whatever, Jerome Powell is going to cut interest rates. It's either that or they're going to cut him from his job.
And I also think that people are so short-sighted, right? Like we live in this economy where everything's boom, boom. It's like why TikTok does so well, right? Because people want boom, boom, boom. They want short, fast-hitting stuff, and so it's easy for people to just think right now, oh, tariffs are so. It's something that the liberal left obviously can point at and say, oh, Trump's ruining. It's more of a long-term outlook and view on what we're trying to do in terms of driving business into, and obviously there's different sides to this. People will think differently. People will probably crucify me for saying this, but and I don't care. But the reality is, like, we're trying to look at a longer term approach to bringing business to the United States and bringing, taking it away from other countries, not taking it away from other countries, but basically forcing some of those businesses to do business in the United States. It's a longer term outlook, but it's easy for the news to point out and say, hey, short term, everything's getting crushed. It's all Donald Trump's fault, blah, 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 blah. That's really easy to say in the short term, while it's a
I also think that a lot of people are expecting this year to be the last bullish year of the market, and then expecting 2026 2028 to be the traditional like bear market while we're all dropping down again. And I think that's just too simple to people be expecting that. And the institutions here buying up Bitcoin, I mean, the demand isn't going to go away. The whole ETF thing changing with the staking of Ethereum, I think people are going to be surprised if we have a very bullish 2026 2027 year. I think people are just expecting bearish after 2025.
Yeah, I mean, and there's 100 different ways that you could look at what's happening for like how that we're talking about the tariffs. You could look at this 10 different ways for how it's going to affect us personally, for how it's going to affect us economically on a larger scale, for how it's going to affect each of these businesses, for how it's going to affect us on taxes. There's implications all over the place, and people are going to look at it from 1,000 different views. I just hope and pray that on a longer term basis, obviously we want it to be bullish for crypto, and I think that all the things that we're doing and pushing towards are good for crypto, but we might need to feel some pain in the process. It's not just up and to the right. I think people get lost in this idea that bull market means only up and to the right, and it does not mean that at all. There are pullbacks.
I mean, Bitcoin has only pulled back like 20-something%.
I know it's nothing
like
crazy.
One of the smallest pullbacks that Bitcoin's ever had in a bull run.
Alts, you would think if you just blindfolded yourself, didn't look at Bitcoin and looked at the alts, what would you say Bitcoin was back at in the high 60s? Probably. Like you would feel like like sub the old previous all-time high at 69K. I would think that's how the alts are acting, and I don't know exactly why, but
it's the ETFs, dude. It's the demand. The Bitcoin dominance is all focused on Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance continues to make highs. There's like a 62%. And like the alts just can't keep up. There's no real demand for alts.
We have a really important comment that we need to get to here. Jack Joy wants to know how I get so handsome. Jack Joy, that is a family secret. Okay,
that's why he does so many trips to Brazil, guys. He gets a lot of cosmetic work down there. He's always got.
I'm down there getting cheap Botox and what. Funny story. I did actually have one of my buddy's family members she was telling me, she was like, she was telling me that I was incredibly handsome, all this stuff. And then she's like, you should do Botox. And I'm like, I'm not doing Botox. And she's like, it will just extend your life of handsomeness. And I'm like, oh my God, I am not. The last thing I'm doing is freaking is I'm not gonna be able to, like, you guys will know because my whole forehead will be like pulled back. I won't be able to, what I mean?
Man.
I look like I
blink.
Smoked some crack before I came on the stream or whatever.
That's not true. Wait, hang on. Maybe
all right. Jenna said, wait a minute. Do I look like that?
I can't move my eyebrows. Wait.
That's what I'm saying. I don't.
I'm trying. I'm really trying, but I can't.
I can't move my eyebrows.
Guys, sorry. I might not be able to move my eyebrows, but there will be no wrinkles.
Jenna, we've all been yapping. What do you got going on? You're trading in the background. What are your thoughts on what we're talking about? Hit me. We haven't chatted with you for a few minutes.
Okay, so my Vine short worked out, so I scalped like an extra $200. What we're talking about?
Are you trading broccoli?
I'm about to, bro. Just wait. I'm waiting for the right time to short it. It's not yet.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the thing is, did you guys, first of all, I'll hit on kind of broad stuff, but did you see this morning that the Trump bros partnered with Hut 8 to create, hang on, let me pull this up here. The
American Bitcoin.
to launch the American Bitcoin.
What is this?
Okay, so they partnered Eric and Donald Trump with Hut 8 to launch American Bitcoin, aiming to build the world's largest Bitcoin mining firm with strategic reserves. So that just happened. So I mean, it's like, how can you be bearish long term on Bitcoin? Now, as far as the cycles go, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like 2021 was way more fun, and this altcoin season has sucked. I mean, I've got some 10Xs. I've had some degen plays that were fun, but I just don't feel like it's what it could have been. And I feel like TradeFly comes in and, everything starts to stabilize, and it sucks. I don't feel like we have the same volatility that we once did. I mean, it's there. There are plays there if you really find them, but I'm just not. I feel like we have to be more content with smaller gains now than what we used to.
Well, we knew that was coming. I think speculative money is kind of changing with alts. Before, it was literally people thought and were willing to toss money into the idea that, hey, I can toss into just about anything and I'm going to make all this freaking money, and that's not happening now. And so I think people are more and more shy to do it.
I think Pump Fund fucked alt season. I think it pulled so much liquidity out of the market, to be honest, that it just screwed everything up. I really do.
I agree with that.
I blame the meme coins more than I blame the institutions.
I do too. I agree.
Yeah,
you know what? We talk about meme coins. We have fun with meme coins. I've done some promotions for meme coins. Like, listen, I've been in on the meme coin thing. I didn't make any bones about it. That being said, I agree with you, Crusader. So much, like it turned into crypto was the place for gambling. And if you didn't buy, if you weren't holding Bitcoin or ETH long term, right? If that wasn't you, then the other option for you was gambling. And that was meme coins. There was no other, like VeChain didn't get a rip like we thought. Caspa absolutely has just fallen apart. Like these solid projects that are doing really good things that could be really beneficial for us, moving forward, which I think still will in the short term, have gotten absolutely freaking hammered because everybody wanted to gamble.
Everybody just wants 100x overnight all the time.
Yep. I want to be rich tomorrow.
They just want to play with $50 and make $10,000. And you have all these gurus out there saying that they're making all this money off meme coins, and it's all a bunch of fugazi. But I honestly, the meme coin pump.fund thing has ruined crypto more than the institutions I've heard crypto.
Yeah, I agree. I don't.
Clay the Great says the old people came in to ruin our fund. That's a funny comment.
I know, but yeah, I do. I really do think that the meme coins have been a blessing in the fact that they brought people into the markets, and absolutely a curse for sucking the liquidity out of everything else, and also taking a bunch of people with them on the way out because people get freaking absolutely pissed as they get their asses handed to them. Because let's be fair. The majority of the time, the majority of the time, people that are coming in to gamble, when we gamble on stuff, I'll use myself as an example. If I'm in a meme coin, I know that I'm gambling. I let people know that I'm gambling, and that's what it is. Unfortunately, I think a lot of new people to crypto come in, and they come into crypto or had, this past year or whatever, in the meme coin, fashion, thinking that they were making an investment, and it's not. It really is not. It's like, hey, I've got extra money sitting around. I want to give this a shot. Let's see if I can make some good money, and boom, get out. But too many people came in with like, hey, I've got an extra $1,000. Should I put it into, Pepe or whatever? And it's like, whoa, easy killer. I don't know.
It's a psychological thing too, right? They come into the market, they're like, oh, everybody's making money in crypto. And they look at Bitcoin, they're like, well, that's 100K. Is that going to go to 200K, or is PayPay going to go to whatever stupid percentage like above? And they're like, I can double my money easier. Let's say Cardano, it's easier to think about. That's about like what, 60 cents, 65 cents right now. And so they were like, hey, can that go to $1 something? Well, it just went to $1 something. So like they think about that investment wise. Like, hey, I can easily double my money. It's the mindset thing, right?
Dude, 100%. It's even worse with the XRP people. Oh, why can't XRP go to 100K like Bitcoin?
Oh, Jenna, what do you got to say about that?
No. Well, because first of all, have you seen the supply? Guys, there are many ways that it could go.
Yeah, I've seen how the supply is all centralized with the XRP Ripple people.
No, listen. Sure. You have to understand, we had awesome gains. Like if you bought enough XRP at 30 cents, like during this whole thing, and it was like what, close to $3 or whatever. I mean, you took some profits. That's fine. But most
They
people
almost made it
won't.
to their target of 589. They missed by just a few bucks for sure.
Well, I
I mean,
mean,
people were
most
buying for
people
like 7 years at 30 cents, waiting for that 589, and they almost
listen.
made it.
Listen, when they flip the switch,
That's
I don't want to
right.
hear
Yeah,
you
yeah.
fucking crying. Okay.
Oh,
Right,
okay,
when the
yeah,
switch
yeah.
gets
You
flipped.
can come hang out on my yacht. It's okay.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I already told Crusader that if it does happen overnight and we hit some, what was it? What were we talking about?
What's gonna come
10K
first,
or,
the alien invasion or the flip
or
of the switch for
XRP
The
for
XRP?
aliens are
10K?
already here. They're already here.
Oh, man.
I'm convinced Keeper is an alien.
Don't be giving away all my secrets. Yeah, so I am curious to see. Okay, right now Bitcoin's at 83.6. We're kind of pushing up a little bit. Somebody give me some TA. Who wants to give me some live TA right now?
I got you.
All right, Evan, let's get it.
Let's see. Let's
The people came for trading. We got a little off track talking. Well, we've been talking crypto though, so we haven't been
So, I mean, right now, I think the big thing that
Evan,
I'm
you've
not
got 3 screen shares here. Which one am I using, brother?
Well, oh shoot, I didn't even realize that.
I mean, I can just pick one. I just don't know if I'll pick the right one. Is this it?
Yes, that's it.
All right,
Yeah.
sweet.
I didn't even. Okay.
Nailed it.
Anyway, so yeah, so this is kind of like what we're trying to do. We're trying to break above this right now. You could try to hedge and do the short that I just had. I think it may be a little bit risky for the short. I'm not seeing as much as I, really want to see right here, but maybe that would work out. But I kind of think it won't. So I'm just sticking with the long right now. And your money flow does look pretty good here. Yeah, the anchor wave, that could be the case for coming back down. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go short just yet. I would maybe, if I wanted to take the short, maybe wait until, yeah, if we get another wave here on the 15, you get a bear div on the 15, something like that, then I would be looking more for the short within an hour or so, maybe 2 hours, something like that. But no, I mean, it looks good. I mean, the market looks good. Look at the 8 hour, ultimately that's printing the wave right there. That confirms in 11 minutes. So it does seem like we'd have more upward momentum, 86. And I think there's a good shot at jumping back up to 92 here. I mean, so yeah, I mean, it does look generally pretty good. The thing I wanted to just show you guys about XRP versus ETH right now, hitting a big point. So I think that we may have a little bit of a trend reversal here. Maybe ETH starts to outperform XRP. I don't know though. I've been wrong before. One that looks pretty good, a token with good utility, AVAX getting a limited. This looks as good as possible on your 2-week VWAP coming up. So, I wouldn't count out AVAX. I mean, I think that you should get a jump relatively soon. Hopefully a higher low here if you could hit 1750 again. But yeah, like you guys were saying, I mean, altcoins market just looked depressing, but I don't know. I wouldn't bet against these markets too much. I think we could start to fight back a bit. So yeah.
Yeah, I jumped in AVAX at, I think it was like 15.5. Like I almost called the low. Yeah.
With a swing trade or with a scalp?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
No. Like swing trade. So
Okay.
AVAX was something I've been looking at as well. So I jumped in AVAX when we had the last dip.
Okay. On the
Yeah,
show
AVAX
or with
super
your personal
underrated.
account?
No.
That,
Yeah, personal.
okay. All right.
Yeah, just doubling down on AVAX.
I think AVAX is going to do very, very well. I think it has the biggest ecosystem outside of everything else. It has NFTs, it's got meme coins, it's got gaming, all the crypto gaming that we all talked about for many years is all happening on AVAX. They have all the subnet technology to make it happen. Like people are literally playing video games on their PlayStation and it's running on the blockchain, on the AVAX blockchain. They don't even know it. And I just think that their ecosystem is very diverse. Technology is really good and nobody's paying attention.
They got a good retail deals too. Like if you look at some of the deals they have with retail, I can't remember all of them, but it's really big names, like very high end retailer or what is it? Clothing manufacturers and stuff of that nature, as well as just like I don't know if it's Starbucks, but it was just big retail. And I looked at that and I was like, you know what? I like seeing that. I like seeing those deals in place, knowing that they are going to be like that provider of blockchain technology and services for some of those major retail brands.
They're doing
so
card deeds. I think out in California in AVAX, they're doing they've done like precious gems, real world asset tokenization on AVAX as well. That they have like they're hitting all the big narratives and they're building pretty good.
Yeah, utility is the name of the game. If I'm investing in something long term, it's got to have utility.
Evan, is it your birthday?
No, there's somebody in my on my live streams that always says that. I guess I'm getting more of the younger audience.
It's his birthday.
So every day this person tells you happy birthday?
Yeah, Merry Christmas too. They normally say it's a younger. I know who it is. It's a younger guy. Yeah, no, I'm getting more of the younger audience.
You know,
like the 18,
you know,
22.
low key, it could be a scammer, and they're waiting for you to thank them actually on your birthday, and they have one more piece of information about you. They've got your first, last name. They've got your birthday. You know what I'm saying? You could keep giving information away slowly but surely on
I mean,
live stream.
eventually they'll be right if they tell you happy birthday every day.
That's what I'm saying. So if they watch him for a full year and he actually says, "Oh, you know what? Thank you. You finally got it." They're like, "Okay, check, got it."
You should
They're
throw them off.
Like guys, patient.
Yeah, I don't think they're that sophisticated.
But
Bro, I say we just blow up the chat with the happy birthday emojis anyways.
yeah, no doubt.
I'm getting this started.
All right, so hey, I want to just shout out to BloFin, guys. If you haven't signed up for BloFin, go have some fun. There's like 10 grand you can get your hands on. Doing a volume based trading competition on here. You guys are not competing against the people on the show. You are just having fun with, and you know, you trade whenever you want, whatever you want, however you want. All the funds. That would be something that you could do to support myself and yourself, because yeah, like I said, there's like 10K to get. Also, sign up for Market Cypher. Got a link down below the stream as well for Market Cypher. If you guys are looking to figure out what the hell Evan's talking about when he's talking about trigger waves and anchor waves and all of the waves, you can go over to Market Cypher, sign up, use my link to sign up. And then also they've got some really good tutorials, some really simple, and what Evan's talking about, basic strategies with Market Cypher that have, you know, worked very well for, I don't know, CryptoVase as an example, his brother, Mr. Nick Cypher. Evan obviously has been doing it for a while. I think all of us in probably everybody on here uses it in one form or another, right? So
yeah, I was using one of their famous strategies last week, the flopping and groping. I was just like getting chopped up left and right.
Yeah, that never ends up playing out well. All right, so what's the plan for this? What do we think? What do we got going on this week, guys? Is there any big news coming out this week? Is there any big meetings this week?
Tariffs on Tuesday. They have like
yeah.
unemployment data, I think, on Wednesday, and they got something else this week. I forgot what it is right now, but they've got like the tariffs and the unemployment.
Where are you pulling the calendar, TradeFly?
TradingEconomics.com.
TradingEconomics.com. Okay, hold on a second. I'm about to get hip to this because I don't know this one. TradingEconomics.com. Okay, let's see.
Yep.
Global stocks tumble. Okay, where are you?
Oh man,
there's an economic calendar on there. I got a shortcut. So it's tradingeconomics.com/calendar.
/calendar.
I always reference that pretty much every day just to see if there's going to be some volatility in the market. Like it'll let you know like GDP stuff's coming out, job openings, unemployment rate, yada yada yada.
Japanese housing charts coming up.
So I basically just tailor it to US. There's settings in there that you can do US, and then you can also, there's star ratings. So it was like 1 through 3, and I just go to 3. I only go to the big, like important things, and you know, just to know when things are coming. Because what I've noticed quite a bit is when you go into these big meetings or a big data drop, you'll see the market kind of slow down. People risk off going into some of this data. And so you'll see usually a small pullback, which gives me a short bias going into that data, and then you'll get the volatility. So once the data does drop, so it's like you're like, hey, let me exit my trades before the data hits, and that way you're not subject to all of the volatility that comes along with it.
Got it. And then what is I'm looking at this, there's stuff all over the place here, but how do you know what are you able to customize this to know what's most important for you, or can you just tell it? Is there like a kind of a catch-all?
There's a star rating. So you'll see some stars right there towards the top. Yeah.
3 stars.
And you can, I just click 3. Yeah. And that's all I roll with.
I got it. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So it's
Dude,
a nice
good stuff.
way to minimize the exposure.
TradingEconomics.com/calendar. And no one's getting paid for that. That was not a sponsored not a sponsored comment there. If you guys are looking for figuring out what's going on. No, I did not. I had not seen that. All right. So on the calendar, we have what? ISM, we have manufacturing, job openings. Let's see. Unemployment's on Friday.
Unemployment rate, that's going to be a biggie.
Yeah, Jerome Powell speaks 11:25 a.m. on Friday. I thought it was usually Wednesdays.
Yeah, so what I would say is just kind of build your own like mental journal going into some of these like Fed Powell speaks, right? That's usually a big one, and there's usually some volatility when he talks, just based on what he's saying throughout that speech. You know, just build kind of your own like journal. Be like, hey, like what's the reaction going into it? What's the reaction after it? And usually you'll see like you'll start picking up on kind of the tendencies or the trends going into some of those things.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, a lot of it's so hard to predict anyway. You get good news and it ends up being bad. You get bad news, it ends up being good. You get, I don't even know. I have a hard time.
For me, it's just like a de-risk thing. If I know there's something big on the calendar, I usually won't trade.
You'll stay away from it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. I just avoid it.
Gotcha. All right. All right. So who got into a trade during the show today? Anybody? Evan did, I think.
I did.
Evan, how's that working out for you?
Just nothing's happened, so it's just down $30. Like it's
absolutely.
It's been dead volume. It hasn't been moving at all.
It's sitting still.
I'm like $16.
I think I traded before the show.
Are you still in it?
No, I closed it.
Okay.
So let me see, where is it at? It was the long the short.
Oh, you made 400 something bucks?
654.
654. Ooh. So you're up over 14K now?
No, I'm 13. This is the trade right before the show.
This was the trade that got you to 13, whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So Crusaders at 13K, Evans at 11-ish K, TradeFly's at 10.5-ish something. Jenna, you're at 65-ish.
436. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, Crypto Fam, 11 o'clock Mondays. We've got 2 more weeks. Hopefully we get everybody on next week. Crypto Face, I'm going to call and bust his balls after the show. But 11 a.m. next Monday. And then I'm going to be doing some more streaming coming up. I'm just trying to figure out what that looks like. So I'll keep you guys apprised as to what's going on. I'll let you guys know over on X, TikTok, all of the, the other platforms. What do we got? Who wants to leave us anything? What do you guys got going on this week? Anybody got anything personal going on that you want to draw everybody's attention to?
Yeah, man, I'll jump on it because I started posting on my own channel again. So you can catch me at YouTube at TradeFly, easy enough. And then drop in the Discord, trying to work through all of that, getting that set up and getting a premium side. So, getting back to the grind, man, but starting to kind of promote myself a little bit as well. So I would
TradeFly, you need to send me. I didn't know that switch was official, so you need to send me the link so that I can make the change in the down below your name in YouTube, because I've got it set up as Piper Academy right now.
Appreciate it.
So cool. Yeah. So check out TradeFly. TradeFly. What time are you going live? What time are you doing your thing or posting?
I'm a moving target, brother. To be honest with you, my schedule changes all the time. So sometimes it's in the afternoon, sometimes it's in the evening. I just get in where I fit in, and you'll know. Turn those notification bells.
There will be signs.
Yeah.
There will be signs. All right. What else? Evan, just doing the traveling thing, dude. Just doing your trading, normal live streaming.
Normal live streaming, yes.
Are you consistent right now with your time?
What?
Are you consistent right now with what time you're streaming?
No, I'm never consistent, but normally in the afternoons, probably later afternoon or nights, that type of thing for the live streams. A lot of live trading. Okay. And just normal stuff. Post some travel stuff on the Instagram occasionally, at evan.aldo.
And, I saw a TikTok come up of you talking about being a digital nomad, traveling around, doing the thing, dude. I like it.
Yep.
Crusader, what do you got going on, bro?
Not much, man. I don't really have a set live schedule. Been trying to get one of those going, but just posting videos on YouTube, TikTok. If you want to join my Discord, you can. I have been posting trade signals in there, so you guys want to get trades, you guys can join the Discord. Just posting content. Probably going to be start live streaming around like 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but I haven't decided just yet on that.
Okay.
But yeah, man, just pouring content and taking trades.
Cool. I like it. Jenna, what do you got going on?
Wednesday nights about 9 p.m. EST, between 9 and 10. I'm streaming with Crypto Danks. He does a lot of the TA, and we kind of go over all different things going on, plus alpha, all different stuff. And we've started a new thing where we're following some different wallets and insiders. So it's kind of cool to keep up following the money. And tomorrow I have a fun interview with an XRPL metaverse project that they've been building for quite a few years. So just catching up with that. And I guess I'll start posting boxing content soon as I start that journey now. So I'm excited for that.
Dope. Well, I hope figure out somebody that you can whoop some ass and take some names. And it's going to be the United States, which would be nice. So I'll definitely make sure to be there. Looking forward to that. That's in December, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I just need people to stop dropping out on me because it's really getting frustrating.
I hear it. All right, crypto fam. Well, been a little bit slow today. Slow on the charts, slow on just everything. But we'll be back next Monday. If you guys, didn't know, 11 a.m. Eastern. Love you guys. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful day, and we'll chat soon. Keep killing it, guys. See ya.